Paul?
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought I'd sort of go a bit closer to home now. So the other ones I tie a lot of are sea trout patterns, and the ones I've been tying the last couple of years, again, influenced by techniques used over there, but they're starting to gain a lot of popularity down on the Towie, in particular, where I fish. I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Unfortunately, they involve the use of a type of wire, which I've left at home. But luckily, I've got a few that I pre-mounted that I can show you. So this is based on what they call an intruder mount, which is a Waddington shank, just like we've always used, with a wire or mono or braid loop hanging over the back, with an up-eyed single hook looped on there. Can you see that?
yeah.
This wire is unusual in that it's Drennan pike tippet wire, £20. Yeah. Now the beauty of this is it doesn't kink, or if it does, you can straighten it up again. The stuff you buy in the shops at a huge amount of money is beadle-on beading wire, which they use for making jewellery, and once that kinks, that's the end of the fly. So if you do get into tying these things, and you can tell anybody you like that I've said this is the truth. Yeah?
Is this wire the one that is coated?
This is coated, flexible, knottable wire.
Yeah. So that if you light a cigarette lighter underneath, it was...
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, so all I've done is I've taken a loop of this wire. You'll notice the hook is an up-eye, so when you go through the eye, round the shank and back out, it stays straight. You can mount it on the shank, down or up. I mount them up because when we're sea trout fishing, it's generally quite shallow, and you get less hookups. Also, when you cast these into trees and bushes in the night, it's easier to get them out. Yeah. If you do want to change from a single to a double, you can, because you can just unloop it and put a double on. Doesn't work with a treble. I'm not a fan of trebles myself, anyway.
You just have trouble.
Yeah, sea trout in the middle of the night, treble hook, it's not good. So you mount them up like that. Then you get this is a stainless steel Waddington. You can use the old black ones, whatever. This is a 25mm one. This is a size 4 partridge intruder hook, which I suspect at one time was a carp hook before they put it in a fly tying bag, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So you set your mount in your vise as tight as possible. Turn it horizontal. Eye goes up. Again for a twirl knot. Using your thread, I just put a really tight layer of thread down. You'll see the shanks want to go in all sorts of different directions, so you have to keep them in tight with your fingers, especially with this GSP thread, because of the pressure you're putting on there. Take it all the way down, really tight. That little gap there, you have to be very careful, so you've got sharp ends and it'll cut your thread every time. On the original Waddingtons, that was so you could change the hook, But we're not going to do that. We're going to carry on over it, right to the end of that loop. So then you get your hook, lay it on top, just take a couple of gentle raps over it just to get it in place, and pull that loop so it's just long enough that you can change the fly if you need to. Sorry, change the hook if you need to. So as you can see, by the time I finish this, it's going to be quite a big fly. Put down on the Towie, bigger slimy box, that's what you've got to put on. Then I'll start to bind it up. Again, watch that gap. Go over the gap. Now you notice I've got one length longer than the other. I put that through the eye, the long length. Really lash it down. Right up to the eye, bend it back underneath, hold it, and lash it back underneath the shank. That won't go anywhere then. So that's your mount. And that's your basic intruder mount. We'll finish there for a sec. Take this off. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you use a bit of super glue on that just to secure the whole thing?
Yes, you can do. What I'll do next is I secure it at the back here as well, because where that starts to hinge,
Yeah.
I put an extra reinforcement there, which I'll show you in a sec. With this thread, that'll hold more weight than the wire. I wouldn't like to try and pull that off there, you know. But that's a sort of fairly traditional way of mounting a secret weapon or a stinger for a sea trout. Now, what you've got to be careful of with these things is when you're tying them, it's flopping about on the back, facing the wrong way. So you just got to remember that, because they're quite sharp. And the materials, I try and keep the materials no longer than that gape. So again, for sea trout, that tail nipping thing, you've got the bear hook right at the back where it should be. Yeah, so we'll tie the fly. So the first thing I do is on the back, I put a hot spot. Sea trout fishermen are suckers for red.
What about the trout?
Pardon me?
What about the trout?
Yeah, they like red.
Oh.
They like red. Red and black, blue and black, silver and black, anything in black. Purple and black,
Oh,
all black.
It's a question whether they can actually see colour at night.
It is, absolutely. You know, red and blue are the ones, the last colours that fade, but black is a silhouette. Personally, I think it's a silhouette. You know, I really don't think the colour matters that much. Having said that, I do catch a lot of sea trout on black and red with a silver body, or black and blue with a pearl body, all black. And they're some very traditional Welsh colours anyway. I don't really fish from outside Wales, but you know, those are the... So all I've done is put a nice hot thread on there, and this I'm going to seal with super glue and UV resin. Has anyone got arthritis in their hands here? Does it, when you close them, does it like your fingers lock? Is that what it is? That's what I'm getting.
I just had an injection last week.
Does it work?
Yeah, it does hurt because they injected on the joint.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
But
not,
it's better.
yeah.
Yeah, but
It's just something I've noticed recently. It's started to become annoying.
old age doesn't come along.
I know. So put a nice dob of super glue on this again, so that's that strength on the back on that hinge. And when that dries, I'll put some UV on there, or maybe I won't. We'll see how we go. Now these things, basically, what we're going to do is throw them in trees all night long. Yeah. So it's down to you how much material you put on it, or what you spend on them, or whatever. So I'm going to do these quite quickly, but I am going to use some of these nice hackles, but the rest of it is fairly basic and fast. So I leave a nice space at the head. I don't bother with ribs or anything like that. I use this stuff. This is flat braid from Le Garden. Comes in all sorts of colours. Pearl is just as good as any of them, I suppose. Blue's nice, silver's nice, gold's nice. It's very durable. So again, when you're pulling it out of that alder tree, it stays on there.
Has that got pearl in it?
This one's just pearl, yeah. It's like a mirage type thing. Oop. So double layer of this, quite tight. You can do it over super glue if you want.
up all the tree branches sticking out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, especially when there's a bit of colour on the water and all them spinners are hanging in. We've had a good season down. Good season down on the Terry this year. I think if I was to be asked, I think sea trout is my favourite. I just love night fishing for them. And this fly I'd fish on the point, and then on the dropper I'd use a single hook, and if we've got time I'll do a sea trout single afterwards. Nice and tight. And the construction of these flies roughly follows the Picasso. So it's built the same for the movement. Right, so first thing would be a hackle. So we're doing a red and black, so I must have a red cape here somewhere, yeah. Nice big hackles on these.
Cock hackles?
These are hen again. You should look at these because they're not what you might normally think of as hen. And that's a dyed black. That's a natural black. That's the black side I went using.
Thank you.
Okay. So again, I'm just going to put that in with a little V method at the front. A couple of tight wraps. Soften it up. And what you're really doing here, apart from putting the colour in there, is creating a step that's going to help cock the wing upwards. And you can see by weakening those fibres, they just wrap themselves really. There's no real effort in wrapping them. I put 2 lots of flash into this fly. One in the core of the fly, which again helps cock the wing up and add a bit of colour. And then I put side flash on as well. So here's my crystal flash, I just added.
The red hackle is genetic or?
They're all genetic, yeah. Yeah. That red hackle is a company called Spencer's.
Spencer, yeah.
Yeah, but they've been sold to Mets now. So it's Mets now. And the other ones are pure Mets. See that, John?
Oh, you lost.
My flash. It'll be on the floor, won't it? Nope. Okay.
I did visit Hugh Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Up in Montana.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Been there like several times.
Sorry, did I say Spencer? Shannon Hackles.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
says
okay.
Spencer.
No, I did say Spencer, yeah. But yes, he's got a chicken farm, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, in Yellowstone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't see it. You must have put
It's
a
okay, I'll
cape
use
or
this.
something. What's that?
That's it, there, right in front of me. Look at that. Okay.
Because Spencer, Metz is now Umpoi, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So we do exactly the same as we did with the Picasso. Fold it in half. Use the thread to position it. Turn, fold it back. A couple of turns to hold it. And then trim it different lengths again. You can see it just opens out. So now we're going to put a wing on it. I think this will be a black wing, so we'll use the runner again. And quite a long wing. I want it to go right into that bend there. So there's lots of mobility on this fly. I don't know how you guys fish for sea trout, but we cast in slightly upstream and across, let the belly form, strip. So we want that thing to move in the water. Now in this case I'm going to leave those long fibres in. Get rid of that underfur. I'm not stacking this one, just nice and tapered. Yeah. Put it in the same way. See that flare going in? Now we put the side flash on. This is nice stuff. This is Vineyards. This is a crinkle mirror flash. Very mobile, quite tough, and it's got those little serrations in it, little folds that sort of throw off light in all different directions. Really nice stuff. This just happens to be a sort of reddish tinge. So I put this in on the sides. I use the thread to position it, like that. One wrap over it, fold it back, one wrap over it, turn it side on, do the same the other side. I really don't like having my scissors in use when I'm tying. I prefer to cut everything before it goes in, and the last, if I can, break the thread rather than cut it. But the only time I really want to use the scissors on the fly is when I finish it. So there's the second one in. Yeah, this is one of the times you've got to use your scissors. Okay. You can finish there. Put another hackle on if you want. I'm going to put on one of those blue ears. This fly really produces. A nice variation of it we use on the Ogmore down on the tidal stretches is basically the same fly, pearl, but with a wing made out of that type of fox, with a blue hackle, blue flash, and 2 grizzle hackles down the side, and that works just off the tide. I think I should send some of these in the photos, don't I? There's plenty. Some of these hackles are just too good, really. So you can see it's quite open, mobile. I need the red cape. Is it? Thank you. So 2 nice hackles for the front. Prepared in the same way, just find the sweet spot, which on these Shannon hackles is most of the feather. They're really nice. Cup them together. Cut the V. Tie it on, right on the side, tight. Has anyone showed you that way of tying them off before? It's one of those things we talked about. He's done that there. I thought I should explain that. Let's untie that. When you're going to tie off your hackle, especially with a collar hackle, obviously, the best ways to tie them off is to either hold it totally the opposite side of the hook to you, or directly towards you. Yeah, I'll do it the other side. You'll be able to see it. You take the thread parallel alongside the hackle. Yeah, bend the hackle, and it just goes straight in there. Nothing trapped. Yeah, so that's a neat little trick for hackles. A couple of turns. A couple of turns. Scissors. And of course, every sea trout fly seems to have jungle cock on it, and I don't know why, because you're just throwing it away. But the guys like it, you know. These big flies are nice because you get these capes, and you're always left with these ones at the top here. You can use them up on here because they're nice and big. And on these, when you put them on the spey flies, the bigger flies, you can actually strip them further down. So let me show you now. So you can put a bit of the base fibres on as well, and it adds to the sort of definition of the head end of the fly. So we'll pop them on. And again, what we're trying here for is a very small head. Just because we can. And I think the small heads really sort of give it a nice sort of professional finish to them. Which is, someone's going to give me £3.50 for one of these, I'd rather them have something that's worth the money, you know? Always good to fold the jungle cock back. Form a small head. Let's talk about heads here now. So we've got about, let's say, 8 turns of thread there, just onto the base shank. That's the smallest head in the world, really. You could leave it at that. You know, you can add colour. Again, oh shit, what have I done there? The popular ones are red, fluorescent red, especially for sea trout. Or black, or pearl, or whatever they want. So I'm going to put a red one on here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So to form the shape, I want these jungle cocks down like that, like an old spey fly. To form the shape, we're just going to use the finishing thread, yeah? So the whip finish is the final shape on the head. So I'm just going to start directly at the front of the head, take a level layer back, cover up all that white, trim it off, take it halfway forward again, and we want to put the whip finish at what you think is going to be the fattest part of the head to get the shape. So if you want the fat part at the back, put the whip finish at the back. If you want it in the middle, put it in the middle. Yeah, so keep it taut there. I'm going to put this one in the middle. And bear in mind, this has got nothing to do with the strength of the fly now, so you can get away with a 2-turn or a 1-turn, whatever you want. It's purely cosmetic. I'm going to try and pop that right in the middle. 2 or 3 turns, and that's enough. And that's it. It's called a Speytruder.